This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you from the new media production studio. In the stories tonight, Apple says Facebook is a peeping Tom. Apple's also expanding smart home devices. And the FCC has a new app to test your internet speed. Intel says, hey, we can build your chips. I want to welcome you to episode 1520 of the Geek News Central podcast for Monday, April 12th. This show is sponsored in part by Godaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from Godaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/Godaddy. You can support this show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider. Hey, I want to give a warm welcome to all the new listeners. Thanks for being here. Thanks for checking the show out. Of course, we want to make sure that you get over to geeknewscentral.com when you're on the website. We want you to subscribe to the podcast. Of course, you can subscribe to the newsletter as well. That's basically right on the same page. All you got to scroll down a little bit, get subscribed to that. That way you'll get all the show notes delivered directly to your inbox immediately following the show. Of course, if you want to send me an email, you can do so via geeknews@gmail.com or on Twitter @geeknews. Of course, you can join our chat room, geeknews.chat. That's a Mastodon chat server, or on Discord. The link to the Discord servers in the show notes. Okay. Today, of course, you can, what am I saying today for? You can follow me on Facebook. You can do that. And, of course, you just search my name, Todd Cochran. All the partner shows are linked to geeknewscentral.com. That includes a new media show, The Gadget Professor, Podcast Legends, GNC Week in Review. And Kirk tells me he's now got a co-host. So make sure you check that show out. I think it'll be a familiar, well, maybe voice for some of you. So congrats for Kirk for getting a co-host for his show, GNC Week in Review. Of course, this show is sponsored by the longest-running continuous sponsor of a podcast. That's our good friends at GoDaddy.com. We want you to get over to GoDaddy and save money. And really, it's very, very simple. Go over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. When you're on the page at GoDaddy, really, it's simple. The Geek News Central page for GoDaddy is very simple. All you got to do is use one of my promo codes. Click on it to lock it in, or basically take the code and go. 30% off new product purchases at $4.99.com or newer transferred domains for new customers only. $1 a month managed WordPress hosting for the first year. That includes a free domain, and $1 a month economy hosting for the first year. Again, includes a free domain. And this is, and those are, the absolute best hosting deals that you will find anywhere. $12. $12 gets you online. $12 gets you started, get you a free domain name, get you a year's worth of hosting. Giddy up. Let's get her done. So definitely go over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. And of course, we offer a free trial of GoDaddy Website Builder, your choice personal business or business plus plans. That's a 1-month free trial. You save 94% on purchases by using my promo codes. If you use my 30% off coupon on non-hosting products, obviously it's a 30% discount. But all these GoDaddy coupons are not expiring. They've been verified to work and validated. You should support us because really what it does is you employ the independent writing team that we have here at Geek News Central. And we're a small independent team, and your utilization of those codes allows me to pay the rent, insurance, everything that goes along with doing what I do here. So, again, thank you so much for your ongoing support, and thanks for GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here of the podcast. So anyway, just kind of a crazy weekend, I guess, for a better word. Lots going on. Stuff that is just, I just seem to never have a problem filling a day. Something to do. I just can't believe it half the time. But my goal in the near future is to get working on a small camp. I want to do a small camp in the woods. Nothing too big, nothing too crazy. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks I can get out there and start on that. And, put the semblance of a campsite together. I may have to cut a tree or two down. We don't know quite exactly yet. But we're going to try to build it around everything that's existing. I got to clear an area before the weeds get too high. I'll have to probably go back and weed whack it once in a while. But and then I'm going to have to figure out how to keep the mosquitoes down when the mosquitoes get thick. That'll be the challenge of the whole process, and investigating different things you can do there. But anyway, has anybody got an idea on how to keep the mosquitoes down for like a big area? You know, it's enough that you can have a buffer zone. And obviously having a fire and having smoke probably helps. But, you know, they're pretty pervasive when it gets going. But we've had beautiful, really weather here, seasonally warm. It got a little cooler over the weekend. But, man, if it's any signs of the things to come, here we go. Other than that, just normal stuff. And I'm glad you're here on the show tonight. Got a lot to cover. Kirk did a good job on the show prep tonight. And again, don't forget about our partner shows. You know, check out the Gadget Professor. Check out the New Media Show. Although we're going to be making a change to the New Media Show. We're going to be going back to one show a week. And I've talked Rob into doing it on Wednesday so I can have my entire Saturdays back. Because it seems like my Saturdays are blown completely by doing the show. But anyway, we'll be talking about that on Wednesday on the show. But anyway, glad you're here. Glad you're watching. If you're live, make sure you check in and say hello. We want to hear from you. I'll be watching the chat room a little bit. If you're on YouTube, just make sure you check in and say hello too. Toby, thank you for being here. Thanks for saying hi. We definitely appreciate, or I definitely appreciate it very, very much. So the first thing up is Apple is said to be developing an Apple TV HomePod combo and iPad-like smart speaker display. And this is news that's coming out. Now, the HomePod was reintroduced back on the Apple site today, which is interesting. So we're going to have to see what's going on here. And but it includes a mashup here of Apple TV and HomePod speaker and an integrated camera for video chat. This is all including to Bloomberg. It's also said to be working a smart speaker that basically combines a HomePod with an iPad. The Apple TV HomePod hybrid would still connect to a television for outputting video and would offer similar access to all videos and gaming service that the current Apple TV does. And the second device would be much like an existing smart assistant display. But the problem is here, SIRI sucks for voice commands. So I just don't know. You know, we'll see where this leads. But Apple is definitely going to be making some moves. And also Apple, wow. There was an interview with the Toronto Star. And he came and just did an absolute slam dunk. Apple CEO Tim Cook compared Facebook to peeping Toms, a.k.a. people looking into the window and seeing what's in your home without your permission. In the digital version, he said in an interview with Canada's Toronto Star published Monday, it's somebody looking over your shoulder, seeing what you're searching, see who you're talking to, seeing what like buttons you're hitting, and so forth, and then building a detailed profile of that. That, he said, is why Apple is pushing its new privacy rules in a free iPhone and iPad software update due here in a few weeks. The software is created in part because they believe people should be asked to give consent to modern advertising techniques. In Apple's case, the new software will include a pop-up asking users if they consent to allowing an app or company to track them. Now, please deny those requests. When those pop-ups, because it's going to come across lots of apps, it's going to be asking to track you. Don't allow them to do that. He says, we think that some number of people, I don't know how many, don't want to be tracked like that. And they should be able to say they don't. So his comments about Facebook being a peeping Tom, that's interesting. And we know that Apple has indirectly criticized Facebook in its stage presentations. And but this is big. We'll see what happens with this. And again, say no. Say no to tracking. Don't let them track you. Why does Facebook need to track you, to sell to you, to monitor you, to collect data on you? Now, nothing's been said about Google, so we'll see where Apple goes with this. We all know that our telephone companies, specifically T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, mobile companies, the big ones at least, are always saying, oh, we got the best network, we got the best speeds. Well, there's something new. The FCC has released a new speed test app to help measure internet speeds across the country. The FCC Speed Test app works similar to existing speed testing apps like Oculus and Fast by Netflix, automatically collecting and displaying data once users press start. According to the FCC, the data collected through the app will help inform the agency to collect more accurate broadband speed information and aid its broadband deployment efforts. To close the gap between digital haves and have-nots, we're working to build a comprehensive user-friendly data set on broadband availability. Oh, I am going to be using this. So this is where we need to put AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile in check and basically stop their ability to exaggerate their current coverage. So, there's lots of things you can do here to help your cause if you're in a rural broadband situation. It's not going to help me to do a test here at the office because there's high speed, as well should be known. But I think this is a good effort. Intel, ding, 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 wants to make chips for automakers to help with the global shortage. The company says it can start making silicon within 6 to 9 months. Why? Okay, now let's think about it. I'm a big fan of Intel. They need to bring chip manufacturing back to America. Why is it that basic chips that we need not only in the defense industry, car industry, everything that has a TVs, everything that runs basically today has chips in it. And where are 99% of them made? They're made in China. They say, we're hoping some of these things can be alleviated, not requiring a 3 or 4 year factory build, but maybe 6 months of new products being certified on some of our existing processors. We begin those engagements already with some of the key component suppliers. The executive didn't name any of the companies Intel has had conversations with, but did note that manufacturing could take place at its plants in Oregon, Arizona, Mexico, or even Israel and Ireland. Now, I think I would be more inclined to trust Israel to provide us chips coming out of those facilities and even Ireland than I ever would on China. This plan is separate from the $20 billion investment Intel announced last month to start fabricating silicon for other chip designers. He also met with the Biden administration as part of a meeting White House held to discuss semiconductor shortage. The president has been mulling options on how to address the situation since February. Well, it's simple. Build in America. This is not mulling. You don't need to think about this. We've known about this problem for a while. I bet you the defense industry would be very happy if we had more companies building silicon in America. Now, the question is, can they get the raw materials? Or does China have a lockup on all the raw materials and all the mines and every place that's needed to extract this stuff? Maybe it's not a big deal building silicon. But it's time. It's time we brought this back to the United States. And for other countries. It's time for other countries. Europe needs to get their act together as well. We got to be held hostage by this communist regime. So times are changing. This is good to see. Go Intel. We may have to pay a few more pennies more for these chips because they're not using slave labor to build them. So, that helps our economy too, right? Keeping Americans employed. Those of you in the UK, This should not come as a surprise to you, but thank goodness both Apple and Google blocked your NHS for doing what they were trying to do. An update to England and Wales contact tracing app has been blocked for breaking the terms of agreement made with Apple and Google. The plan had been to ask users to upload logs of venue check-ins carried out via poster barcode scans. If they tested positive for virus, this could be used to warn others. But the two firms had explicitly been banned through the license, had banned such functions from the start, under the terms that all health authorities signed up for, in order to use Apple's and Google's privacy-centric contact tracing tech. They had agreed not to collect any location data via the software. As a result, Apple and Google refused to make the update available for download from their app stores last week and instead kept the old version live. When questioned, the Department of Health declined to discuss how this misstep had occurred. Oh, no. It's all about tracking, folks. Just remember. This is about tracking. But Scotland, they avoided this pitfall because they released a separate product called Check-In Scotland to share venue histories. So you opted in to a new app to track. Stop this. Stop letting these countries track you everywhere you go. I'm at this point, how much more do they want? I just read something today that the state of Hawaii has said if you've had your vaccine, you can upload your vaccine card and we'll let you into the state of Hawaii without a test, without getting a COVID test before you arrive. What is that? That is a vaccine passport to enter one of the states of the United States of America. You want to come to Hawaii, either get a COVID test or 72 hours prior to departure, or upload your vaccine card. What do y'all think of that? What do you think of that? A state. They need to be sued. Health data, right? It's just give them an inch and they'll take a mile. I'm not surprised, considering the political layout of the state of Hawaii, that they would do this at all. Not only on top of that, they've given authority for other counties in the state of Hawaii, specifically Maui County. You're going to take your COVID test before you arrive, 72 hours before, but when you arrive at the airport, you're going to have to take another COVID test before you can leave the airport. Because they think people coming in from the lower 48 are bringing COVID. No, it can't be locals giving each other COVID. No. It has to be the dirty tourists coming that are giving people COVID. So, once again, our rights are being trampled upon. I'm not a Sam Adams beer fan at all. And I'm not, and I have never been. I don't know what it is about their beers. I don't care for them. Get free beer money from Sam Adams for getting vaccinated. There's no greater incentive for getting vaccinated, doing your part to end the pandemic. If you do, you'll get you some beer. Sam Adams is buying 10,000 beers for the newly inoculated in honor of National Beer Day. More accurately, the Bostonian beer maker is opening its coffers to provide beer money for the first 10,000 people to participate in a Shot for Sam initiative, which will take place April 12th to May 15th. Oh, you will have to upload and post to social media your vaccination card. Really? This whole initiative kind of defies the general advice to not broadcast images of your vaccine card to the masses for fear of giving scammers information that would make it easier to steal your identity. I just don't understand this. Time is Evans. Supplies are limited. Sam Adams is dispensing its beer funds via $7 cash infusions paid directly to winning participants via Cash App. I wonder if Cash App is in on this. Do you guys mind giving up your vaccine information? Do you mind doing that? All right, we'll move off COVID to something more cool. The 6 best tools to analyze your laptop battery health. I've got one over here I need to start watching. This MacBook Pro. Its battery is definitely not lasting as long as it used to. So they've got some good ones on this list. Some of these are, looks like Windows. Power Config Battery Port. Battery Info View. Passmark Battery Monitor. Another one called Save Battery. I think these are all Windows ones. I don't think any of these are good for Macs. So if you're worried about your battery, link will be up in the show notes. You can check your battery. Oh, here's one for Macs. The 9 best free Mac tools to detect and fix common Mac OS problems. You know, Macs never have a problem. Never. You know, they never have a problem. They're always healthy and great machines. Number 1, disk utility. Number 2, the built-in Apple diagnostic test. Number 3, ONYX. Number 4, MemTest 86. This one is not really to test. This is to check. It's called Malwarebytes. I use this exclusively on all my machines. And this one I found very interesting. I've never heard about this. It's called Knock Knock. So it says whether it's malicious browser extensions that injects ads into search results or malware that aims to steal your data, the goal of any malicious app is to run in the background for every Mac session. Persistence is a technique by which malware ensures that it'll get executed by the OS on startup. So this is a way to really kind of get an idea what's going on there. I think I'm going to try that one myself. And then there's another one called E-Tray Check, E-T-R-E Check. And so it includes information about software, 32-bit apps, unsigned apps, a whole bunch of stuff. And then there's Omni Disk Sweeper. I'm not familiar with this one here. So here's a whole bunch. Tinker Tool System 6. It's just a whole list of tools that the Mac supposedly never needs. Okay. Keep on smoking that crack pipe if you think that's the case on Macs. Hey, Liz, thanks for joining the live show tonight. All right, so supporting local businesses, I'm big on that right now as much as I can. Matter of fact, I went into a business the other day and I needed a specific item. They didn't have it. They said, we can order it. We'll have it here on Tuesday. I said, great. Order it here. Have it here on Tuesday. They were shocked I didn't go buy it on Amazon. But this is what you got to do. Support your local small businesses. They've been killed here recently. So the way you can do that is through Google Maps. Of course, Facebook Small Business Things, Local Flavor, Nextdoor, TripAdvisor. I like Yelp the best. Really, I use Yelp a lot, especially when I'm in a city I don't know. Foursquare City Guide, Etsy. Wow, Etsy, you can buy stuff from local Etsy creators. That's cool. They actually allow you to check local. That's awesome. Living Social, Getting Local, whole bunch of functions here where you can support local businesses and help them survive this craziness. They're talking about locking Michigan down again. Matter of fact, the CDC talked about it today, said lock Michigan down because we're like number 1 right now in new infections. And it cracks me up because everywhere I go, everyone's wearing a mask. Restaurants are still at 50% capacity. So what's the deal? The Galaxy Z Fold 3 could include the best camera feature from the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Big changes could be on the way for Samsung camera hardware. The sensor could be included as soon as the Galaxy Z Fold 3 are pushed to the Galaxy S22. And this rumor Samsung and Olympus have partnered on a new camera sensor, and this camera technology would be similar to Apple's sensor shift lens from the iPhone Pro 12 Max. I don't know what that does. I just take a picture with my phone and it works. So I don't even understand what this new camera function is in the iPhone. So anyway, at least that's an announcement coming from Samsung. Someone's got an iPhone 12. Tell me what that feature is. Is there a way I enable it, or is it just pick it automatically? A small asteroid that we knew about starting about 4 days ago just gave Earth and some satellites a very close pass. A piece of cosmic debris named 2021 GW4 briefly dove beneath the orbit of many of our largest satellites, passing about 12,000 miles from the surface of Earth. But the closest satellite it got close to was a GPS satellite run by the U.S. Defense Department at about 1,400 miles. And at those altitudes, the space is still pretty empty. But they said it was about the size of a pickup truck. And if it would have came into the actual orbit of Earth, or actually into our atmosphere, it would have burned up. So, bada bing, bada boom. Another shave and a haircut, please. Have a GM vehicle? GM rolls out a new cloud-based mapping services for nearly 1 million vehicles. Maps Plus will be available to car owners who don't have in-car navigation. So if you bought a car and you couldn't afford an in-car navigation system, which they say a lot of cars are sold this way. Specifically, you buy an aftermarket car that is been run by Hertz or any of those other groups. Usually the maps are not in those. For a $14.99 month fee, you will be able to get maps in select model year 2018 and newer Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, and Cadillac vehicles by the end of 2021. Maps Plus will be offered as part of GM's OnStar, which starts at $14.99 a month. Okay. Shot of a Red Bull here. Thank God some people are idiots. Especially people that decide they're going to try to blow up Amazon data centers. U.S. authorities arrest a man who allegedly plotted to bomb an Amazon data center, which he believed would kill off about 70% of the internet. Seth Aaron Penley, 28, was arrested after receiving a dud explosive device from an undercover FBI agent. Now imagine this. Hey, I want to buy some C4. Someone tells you, oh, yeah, I've got a source for C4. I'll call my buddy up. He'll deliver it to you. He came to FBI's attention after somebody reported his online post. Apparently, he was on a white supremacist group site. And FBI, doing what they did, was able to figure out where he was at. And I was on a militia website, excuse me. Like, do you think if you're on a militia website that's on the web, do you not think it's not being watched by the FBI or have informants? Well, apparently this guy did some emailing back and forth with him. And he was talking to an FBI informant the whole time. And he had actually posted something on Twitter. He said, hey, I want to conduct a little experiment, which he said would be dangerous and draw a lot of heat. Asked by another Twitter user what the results would be, he responded, death. You're going to post that on Twitter, on public Twitter? My God, people are... Go to jail, and wear an idiot mark. Idiot, put idiot across your forehead. Gosh, again. Oh, yeah. I'm going to blow up an Amazon data center. You wouldn't even ever get close. Do you think data centers are just like you can walk up to them? Do you think you can get close to the interconnections? Do you think you can just walk up and put something next to the building? Oh, God, thank God for stupid people. Google is making another attempt at personal health records. In its last health project shut down in 2013. Let's just leave it alone. But Google's recruiting people. Excuse me. Google's recruiting people. For those of you who don't know, I almost sneezed on you. To give feedback for a new consumer-facing medical records tool. The company wants to know how many people want to interact with information pulled from their medical records. So if you live in Northern California, Atlanta, and Chicago, you may be recruited. So anyway, they're going to try to do this again. Say it's a different era and different time. How many of you use the Google Shopping app? It be gone. In a few weeks, the shopping tab on google.com will be the main interface. So come on, Google, replace shopping with the word podcast. You know, the google.com landing page has only a certain number of options. Let's make it podcast. Let's start a rumor. So rip to the Google Shopping app. It's gone. It's gone next week. So within the next few weeks. So if you've been using that, no more options for you there. So Uber drivers could become weed delivery drivers. So Uber weed deliveries may be on the company's roadmap. It's still illegal at the federal level, but cannabis could be a future opportunity for Uber. The CEO of the company, said the ride-hailing company would consider getting into the cannabis delivery when the road is clear. I think most cannabis users want to go into the dispensary and smell their weed. So maybe the Uber driver will take them to the pharmacy and then take them home afterwards. Maybe that's probably a good idea. Oh, my goodness. Now, Uber made an acquisition in February, a Boston-based alcohol delivery service, Drizzly. Not part of that $1.1 billion acquisition was Lantern, which is a cannabis delivery service Drizzly launched in May of 2020. Lantern continues to operate independently. So we know there's three dozen U.S. states who decriminalize marijuana, either for medical or rec purposes, some for both uses. Last month, New York passed the Marijuana Regulation Taxation Act, legalizing records use and expunging the records of people who were convicted of marijuana-related charges that are no longer criminalized. So the president promised to legalize weed throughout the United States. We'll see if he's able to get that true, because that was one campaign promise he made. Apple and Google will both attend Senate hearing on App Store competition. This should be fun. After it looked like Apple may be a no-show, the company is committed to sending a representative to the Senate antitrust hearing on App Store competition later this month. That should be very entertaining. And the hearing will dive into Apple and Google's control over the cost, distribution, and availability of mobile application and consumer app developers in competition. Are they going to invite the Fortnite folks in? Who else is coming? Well, it doesn't say if they're going to invite any of those companies that have been affected. I would hope they would. Charter, don't you just love it when sometimes companies get smacked? Charter must pay $19 million for tricking customers into switching ISPs. Charter mailed false ads to convince users Windstream was going out of business. I have no idea who Windstream was, but a judge ordered Charter Communications to pay $19.2 million to Windstream for lying to customers in order to trick them into switching from Windstream to Charter Spectrum Internet. Charter also faces a $5,000 penalty for shutting off services to hundreds of Windstream resale customers. When Windstream failed for bankruptcy in early 2019, Charter began a literally false and intentionally misleading advertising campaign intended to create the impression using mailings designed to seem as if they're coming from the debtors. Oh my God. Debitors? Slow down, Todd. That the debitors were going out of business. So here's what they actually said to Windstream customers. Don't risk losing your internet and TV services. Windstream has filed for Chapter 11, which means uncertainty. Will they be able to provide the internet and TV services you rely on in the future? To ensure you are not left without vital internet and TV services, switch to Spectrum with a network built for the future. Spectrum is here for the long haul. Well, that little advertisement caused them $19.2 billion. What's going on here? Says my internet went slow. Oh, let me look. Why am I offline? Something has paused. Well, it says like everything's still good. So I don't know what's going on with Facebook. Oh, there we go. We're back online. Maybe it was just me seeing something going weird. It was spinning there for a second. You're all still here, so I guess that's an important thing. Got a new router installed. Topps, yes, the baseball card collecting company. Topps has debuted its first non-fungible token NFT baseball card collection. So if you're an NFT fan and you're one of the first 10,000 people who sign up for email alerts for Series 1, we'll get a free opening day NFT pack. If you do hope to buy Series 1, they'll be available on launch day until they're sold out. They'll be available through the WAX, Worldwide Asset Exchange blockchain. Topps used for its Garbage Pail Kids collection. It's the first time Topps baseball cards will reside on the blockchain. The company said Atari, Capcom, and Deadma 5 have also used a decentralized platform. This is the first set of MLB licensed NFT cards. It's not MLB's first attempt at crypto collectibles, but its crypto baseball cartoon bobbleheads traded on the Ethereum blockchain never took off. So we'll see what happens with this. My friend Jerry needs to hear about this. Also, another article talking about Apple's reportedly working on a speaker with an Apple TV built in. Keep on moving there. Domino. Okay, you order a pizza. You're working at the office. Then you get a notification via your phone. You have to go out to the curb and get your pizza. Domino's in Houston might receive their pizza from the Neural R2 robot. So you have to walk out, enter a PIN, door will open, and you'll be able to get your order off the self-driving pizza delivery thing. You know, won't be long. Won't be long. All those folks that have been doing deliveries like Uber Eats and all that stuff are going to be out of a job. It's happening. I say 5 years from now, there'll be no more personalized delivery of food. It will all be done by a robotic car that drives to your location. Uber, PayPal, and Walgreens set up a vaccine access fund. Anyone can donate and help to cover the cost of rides to COVID-19 vaccination sites. So they've received they've already done a joint $11 million donation. But starting today, Uber and Uber Eats users can donate to the fund through those apps. I'm sure you'll be prompted anytime you order something, which already costs a ton and an arm and a leg. It's crazy. Also, Uber says March was its biggest month ever. What? Isn't there a pandemic going on? Aren't people still at home? Where are people going? Really, honestly, where are people riding in Uber right now? Ride numbers are almost back to pre-pandemic levels. People are not going to the office. What's the deal? Huh. Doesn't that strike you as funny? We're getting ready to shut down the state of Michigan, yet Uber says March was its biggest month ever. We're getting back to things? Is that true? Maybe in your state. Intel's Mobileye will launch a fully driverless delivery service in 2023. Again, here we go again. Mobileye is working with the startup UDelv to manufacture 35,000 delivery vehicles. Deliveries will be made using a new type of cabin-less vehicle called the Transporter. Mobileye and UDEV says they will produce 35,000 transporters between 2023 and 2028. This is a real commercial deployment. Vice President of Automated Vehicle Standards at Mobileye told The Verge 35,000 units. Mobileye's turnkey self-driving system uses like 3 different tracking systems. So is this going to replace UPS and FedEx drivers? Are you going to have to go out and meet the vehicle? This is the problem, right? No more driver to get off the vehicle and bring your package to the door. So how does this work? These self-driving vehicles have a top speed of 65 miles per hour. It's going to be a whole new world, folks. We're going to have a lot of fun with this in the years to come. Facebook starts displaying state-by-state vaccination notification. The company is tailoring the prompts to each state. And they're doing it not only in the United States, but some other countries as well. So they're giving you information on Facebook on how you can go get your shot. Go get your RNA programming. There you go. You can navigate through Facebook's COVID-19 Information Center. My advice is just search for COVID-19 vaccines for your state. They'll have a portal. Just go do it that way. No need to give Facebook any more information than they already have. Please. Microsoft digs deep for chatty AI specialist Nuance. Well, Microsoft and Nuance were already kind of partners, but Microsoft just bought them for $19.7 billion to help its bolster its healthcare chops. The rich keep getting richer, ladies and gentlemen. If you own Microsoft, good for you. The company announced a sponsorship in the healthcare space in 2019. Microsoft reckons it will double its total addressable market to almost $500 billion. Acquisition dwarfed by the $26.2 billion purchase of LinkedIn back in 2016 comes almost 3 decades after Nuance launched. Now, you might be more familiar with Nuance for their Dragon line of speech recognition products, which were out long before anything was really, available for speech recognition. Nuance lays claims to usage by over 55% of physicians in the United States and 75% of radiologists. The software, the company said, also can be found in 77% of U.S. hospitals and make use of speech recognition, for which it's famed, as well as integration with electronic health records to ease the burden of clinical documentation. The whole world's going to be owned by 3 or 4 companies before it's all over. Almost is already, right? Nvidia unveils 8 new RTX GPUs for workstations and laptops. It's a big rollout here. The aim is to provide a boost for professionals who have to upgrade their personal machines as they work from remote locations during the pandemic. The 8 GPUs can be used in laptops, desktops, servers, workstations. Nvidia made the announcement at its GTC 21 online event. They say hybrid work is going to be the new normal. So these GPUs will provide heavy workload lifting for you that have to do stuff at home. AI graphics and real-time rendering and all that kind of stuff. So link will be in the show notes for those of you that are GPU fans. Beyonce, not the artist, and I think it's not even sponsored. It's called BINANCE, Bianchi, allows users to trade tokenized stock starting with Tesla. Users will be able to purchase as little as 1/100th of a Tesla share with prices settled in Bianca USD. BUSD is another Bitcoin thing. Cryptocurrency exchange Bianchi is allowing its user to buy fractions of company shares. So, okay, you can buy it with their Bitcoin. Then how do you, it's a little bit odd, isn't it? that you buy the shares with their digital coin. The share is put in your digital bank account on their site. Anybody doing this? Anybody doing fractional stocks right now? I know several companies do this. I think I'd rather pay dollars, not using some coin, some digital coin. Bit article on The Verge how a Facebook loophole is allowing politicians around the world to fake support and criticize opponents. Apparently, they're making pages. You can't make another account, but you can create fake supporters used by, I guess this is the loophole identified, the use of pages to create fake supporters used by governments to appear popular and criticize opponents. Although Facebook bans people from operating more than one account, any individual can create multiple pages with similar results. Pages are usually used to represent businesses, charities, nonprofits, but it can be used to look like an individual account. I've seen a lot of people do this. And apparently, unlike the United States, South Korea, and Taiwan, Facebook is not dealing with any political discussions that's going on in poor nations like Afghanistan, Iraq, Mexico, and much of Latin America. So where they are monitoring everything in the United States, South Korea, and Taiwan and taking stuff down, they don't do this in poorer countries, allowing disinformation to be shared and so forth. One case utilizing this loophole took place in Honduras, where administrators operating the Facebook page of the country's president created hundreds of pages to like their own post and to create the appearance of popular support. The election of Hernandez in 2017 was widely criticized for fraud. Similarly, in Azerbaijan, which has experienced years of authoritarian rule under President Ilham Aliyev, the ruling party used dummy pages to harass opposition politicians and criticize news stories by independent outlets. And there's a video from The Guardian show how these operations work. Zhang, the person that did this, put this together. Oh, listen to this. Zhang, who worked on Facebook's integrity team to identify such fake activity, was fired by Facebook in September 2020 for poor performance. In a memo shared on her final day, she described how she'd found multiple blatant attempts by foreign national governments to abuse our platform on vast scales to mislead their own citizens. While they go after misinformation that they call misinformation in the United States, guess what they don't do? They don't go after misinformation in other countries. Maybe this is why I'm having stalling problems on Facebook today. Now, John Olson, he's got a YouTube channel. He just bought a Rolls-Royce Ghost. I think he bought a used one. But Ars Technica has a review of the Rolls-Royce Ghost. And, it doesn't cost too much. $460,000 is the cost of a Rolls-Royce Ghost. And quite the luxury vehicle. And they're giving an award for the most improved. The 2021 model is the most improved car because the old ones didn't get such good reviews. If you've got enough money to buy a $460,000 Rolls Royce to ride around on, come on. That's just kind of showing off. This is going to make you chuckle. Boston Dynamics robot dog Spot has been taught to, guess what? He's been designed to pee beer on command. In one, it's a terrifying hair-binger of a dystopian future when robots hunt and kill humans. And the other, the plaything of YouTubers who teach this robot quadruple to piss beer on command. People have way too much time on their hands. And the YouTube video is, yes, there's a keg on top of the dog. And Okay. Pissbot is working flawlessly 35% of the time. Kind of sounds like men. You can't, they give him a cup to aim at, and about 35% of the time it misses. So I won't go any further. Apple's upcoming iPad Pro could be scarce due to next generation display shortages. Many LED display manufacturers are reportedly experiencing yield issues. Sounds like crops, right? Well, they're having problems getting good manufacturing of these screens. So the iPad Pro could be scarce, just as a heads up. Also, Google, if you have a Pixel phone, starts rolling up heads up. In other words, if it detects you're looking at your phone while walking, it basically does a pop-up. It says, watch your step with heads up. If you're walking, use your phone. Get a reminder to focus on what's around. Use with caution. Heads up doesn't replace paying attention. Getting hit by a bus. You actually sign up to get reminders to stop using your phone while you're walking. This is the thing I think I talked about in the last show that really irritates me. I can't, if I'm driving, I can't say, hey, SIRI, get me directions to. It won't do it. What's the use of having voice commands? If you can't, instead I have to pull over or at a stop sign, mess with it. It's just idiocy. Finally tonight, 11 keyboard shortcuts every computer user should know. And there's obvious ones that are very obvious. Control-C, Control-V, or Command if you have a Mac. There's all kinds of other types of shortcuts that I use a lot. If you're not familiar with computer shortcuts via the keyboard, link will be in the show notes. Now, we had some email that came in. And let me go to that. Got an email from Richard. Hey, Todd, I have the 5G iPhone 12 Pro on T-Mobile for a cellular connection. It's blazing fast. I average about 150 megs, but have gone as high as 300 and as low as 60. That's fantastic. If you're in a metro area where you get 5G, awesome. And he says, and that's in Lexington, Kentucky. T-Mobile did it right. So very, very cool, Richard. Thanks for sharing that. Rob says, hey, Todd, I don't recall if I told you this before. I sympathize with your back issues. I had problems for years. My dad was a big believer in chiropractors. I was a skeptic. It finally got so bad, I thought I would at least try. Hardly any back issues since, and when I do, it's not as bad. I go for regular checkups, even without medical coverage. It's worth the $30 visit. Now, if you've injured your back, that's another issue, but they often can still work with that. So, I'll be honest, Rob, for years, I would do about every 3 to 4 weeks, I would go see my shiatsu guy. And this was when I was in Honolulu. And Rob's in Ontario. Rob, when are we going to open the border so we can go have a beer together? You're under stay-at-home orders for 28 days? Insanity. I saw someone in your country refuse to home quarantine. They refused, quoting something in your constitution or in your whatever the equivalent is in Canada that says you can't do this, and they let the person go. But going back to the topic at hand, when I was in Hawaii, I had the shiatsu guy that helped me with several things. Back issues, helped me with my leg when I would have sciatica, all kinds of stuff. And he was my miracle worker. Here, I haven't quite found that person yet. Now, my family is big on going to the chiropractor as well, so maybe I'll think about that from time to time. I've just found they just can't quite get me fixed. It usually requires someone that's got good massage therapy skills that gets me in, or I just suffer through. But good idea. Maybe I'll try that next time. When I get crazy, I'll go and make an appointment. Don't know if it's as cheap as $30 though. Here, that is incredible. Hey, and one thing that we posted on Geek News Central today, at least Jen did, Clubhouse database of user records was scraped. Clubhouse says, it was open. We didn't hide that. So they had an SQL database containing 1.3 million user records. It was scraped and linked for free in a popular hacker forum. So Clubhouse is going so fast they can't afford to do security properly. So not coming as a surprise. Okay, that's going to wrap me up for today's show. What is today? Today is Monday, April 12th. And I'll be back with you on Thursday for another edition of the show. I want to thank you for hanging out with me here today. It's been my pleasure to bring you the podcast. I hope you stay safe out there and be careful. Take care of your loved ones, your pets, etc. And drop me a line, geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com. Tell me what you think. Let me know if you're sick of this too, or if I need to stop whining. The insider folks, yes, I haven't forgot about you. I'm slow. I'm sorry. I'm just slow. Other than that, lots of other stuff going on, exciting stuff that will come out later, but everything else. We'll see you next time here on the Geek News Central podcast. Everyone, take care. We'll see you next one. Be safe. Bye-bye. Oh, don't forget about the sponsor, GoDaddy. What? When did that